So, I hope you're all doing well. I didn't really write a script for this. I just want to sort of tell you what this video is and show you what's going on here. And as you can see, this is a cardiac stress test video that I'm uploading to YouTube. Now, I know I've been gone for a while, and you'll hear some stuff in the background because of the car. So, my partner's the one driving. Don't worry, I'm just the passenger. I have been extremely depressed recently. I've had nothing but crippling, obsessive thoughts that have made me hate doing pretty much everything in my life. I have felt the need to be super productive, and part of that super productivity has made me feel like I have to do specific things. I can't speak for anyone else, but I just want to sort of tell you all that I'm alive and well and that I'm doing okay. And then again, I feel like, what does it really mean to be okay? So I say that, and it's weird as I notice that, it's almost like a defense mechanism, right? Like, I'm not even being honest with myself. I don't know why I feel the need to just say that, because truthfully, I'm not doing well. I'm actually at one of the lowest points in my life that I've ever been at as far as mentally. I've done pretty well in holding a job. I'm working a lot more than I used to work. Actually, it's weird because when I was dealing with anxiety, and I still deal with it, at one point I was sitting at home all the time. And the only thing I managed to do was working out, and even with workouts, I dreaded them. And I dreaded the post-workout crash that I would almost inevitably have every single time. So that was like a living nightmare for me, because I was sitting there wondering if I was going to die. I would regularly visit the hospital, and because of that, I didn't have time to focus on self-improvement. And that's a really funny thing I've realized about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For some of us, we're fighting this battle of trying to stay alive so long that we're not focusing on the improvement part of life. So if I could ever offer to you one thing when you're making a video, it's that one step at a time, and that it doesn't have to be perfect. I found that through a lot of this, it's kind of like I'm not going to be able to cover all my points, and I'm going to miss a lot of things, and that's okay. I might slip up on my words too. I've actually found, for me, that if I try to go back and I think that's why I hated video editing, was because I would go back and meticulously change certain things. I would constantly edit stuff together, and when I was so I didn't do anything major. However, I did help a few YouTubers with some of their projects online as far as editing videos. And the one thing I noticed is a lot of them have this very specific idea of what they'd like, and there would be a lot of revisions, as that's kind of what I wanted to do, is provide quality over quantity. And when you're making videos, you have quite the level of competition, I would say, that you're having to face against, right? So that was something that I really had to deal with. The truth of that matter was that it did make me very precise. And I started to hate video editing in general because of that. Because I was no longer doing things that brought me love. And of course, people will tell you, well, just follow your passion, bro. Just follow your passion, bro. And it's just not that simple. It's this black and white thinking. It's the same way as when somebody tells you, well, to quit being an alcoholic, you've got to stop drinking alcohol. Huh. Oh, shit. Okay, bro. Thanks. I never knew that. You see, the problem is I was trying to monetize this, and I didn't realize that when people say, you should find your job and make it your passion, and inevitably there's a lot of things that come with it. For example, if you're competing in MMA, it's not just that you're doing the kickboxing, you're also doing the press conferences and signing shit, and you're also having to deal with sponsorships and fight negotiations for your contract, right? I don't want any part of that. For me, I just like to do training, right? Like, I just like to do wrestling, so I don't compete or any of that gay shit, because I don't want to deal with any of that other stuff. That's a passion, that's a hobby for me. And people need to understand understand that your passions and your jobs can be two different things. So I work a regular full-time job, and I recognize that if I make video editing, for example, if I make this into a passion or a job, I'm going to hate it, because inevitably now I'm going to have to deal with YouTube's AdSense bullshit. I'm going to have to deal with censoring all my fucking words. I'm going to have to deal with trying to outpace the competition, and inevitably it's going to become something that wasn't meant to be. It's something I see with the degradation of YouTube is it started off with just a bunch of YouTubers doing things they loved online. And then you still get that, while at the same time it's mostly super dressed up professional corporate bullshit now. People never told me this, and I wish they would have. It's that, what does follow your dreams mean? Well, it means, like, for example, let's say you love MMA and you want to be involved with it, and at the same time you don't want to, you don't want to be a fighter. Well, you don't have to be a fighter, or maybe you can't cut it as a fighter, right? Because you're not good enough, and that's crushing to you. And at the same time, there are other avenues to still be involved with it. You can be a commentator if you really like talking, for example. Or, for example, if you don't want to be a commentator, you can help organize the events, right? You can be a talent agent. You can be a sponsor. There are many different ways. You can just be an analyst. So I think people, what they need to do is slow down, because they're going to have a stroke. They're going to have a heart attack from this stress, right? They literally are going to freak the fuck out. And you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? So some content that I'm heavily gravitated towards that I really like is like the content of Dunkey or Penguins, or, for example, Yo Boy Runs. Those are all really cool, because there's not, Joey's World Tour, Review Bra, stuff like that. Super, super entertaining channels. And they're entertaining off of what they have to say usually. Not a lot of editing, if any at all, really. Not high production value by traditional standards, right? They just sort of turn on the camera and talk. And yet, it's still super entertaining, and that's the stuff I like and want to do. I actually don't get any energy, and that's the other thing you have to ask yourself, right? Is this something that you can push through for 10, 20, 30 years? So I absolutely love reading creepypastas. I love playing video games. Honestly, I'm almost there at that point, guys, where I'm not going to touch video editing at all ever again, because I don't want to mess with the subscribe buttons. I understand what I could get. I understand that realistically, maybe I could actually get that thing, right? Where I could get 1 million subscribers in 20, 30 years, or maybe even just a few years, if I actually tried everything I want to do. If I'm going to do the editing, I'm going to do it because I want to do it, and I'm not going to do it because I have this obsessive compulsion anymore. I'm probably going to, actually fucking go off the deep end if I do that, right? I just, nobody talks about how bad it is to be a gifted child, and to grow up and then to have severe burnout from it. You fall behind when your natural talent starts to equal out as you get older with the other kids who are training hard. Because for you, you've been so good at stuff, and then now you have to try, and then now you've always been such a gifted child that you almost expect to have damn near perfection, or at the very least, your product has to be better than everybody else's, right? So the outcome is so heavily praised. I see all the time these fucking boomers who cry and whine and bitch and moan and groan about, oh, these damn liberals, they want their participation trophies. And it's like, yeah, actually, I would like that. Yes, I'm sorry you're being a cynical fuck. I want my participation trophy because it's hard for me to try. It's hard for me to just do this every day. So yeah, I haven't been uploading. And yeah, I have been deleting comments. And yeah, I kind of did give up on the TikTok channel. Yeah, I know, it gained hundreds of subscribers in the span of a month. I still gave up on it because I just hated it. If I'm gonna get people, even if it's gonna be slower, I want to do it my way. I want to do it doing things I like. I don't like heavily edited content. I don't like sitting down and doing that. And I feel busted when other people tell me, well, have you tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? And I try all these things they tell me to do. And then it doesn't work for me. And I just feel busted. And all these people tell me, you just got to keep trying. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. And I'm just tired of hearing it. You know? Like, I like working out. I like cleaning. I do. There are things I really like doing. And I work, right? So I do what's needed to maintain and function a job. It just happens that I don't like everything in the world. And I don't want to have to do every single thing in the world. There are some things that I just don't want to touch with. Which is why, if I do make edited content from now on, I probably will hire a video editor. I probably outsource that. Because it's not worth it to me, right? I'd much rather pay somebody. I love learning about Yu-Gi-Oh! And playing that game. I love Pokemon. I like video games. I like everything, but I don't like video editing. I don't even want to look at a video editing software anymore. I just don't want to. It brings me so much disgust and displeasure anymore. And I know about avoidance. And I know about exposure therapy. And I know that I could just even think about it and practice video editing in vivo, right? Just use my imagination. It's not worth it for me. I've done the therapy and I'm continuing to do it, right? I'm continuing to look at different types of therapy, whether it be cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical therapy, or it be acceptance commitment therapy, or even like a more like holistic approach, right? Like think outside the box. I'm just tired of it. The truth is, I don't love it anymore. And I've been trying to force it. And you learn all the time out with relationships. Like when you're in a romantic relationship where people can't learn to let go. Yeah, I got in this intense love with video editing. And we were hot and heavy when we first got together, me and video editing, right? We had the most passionate relationship ever. And over time, we became incompatible. Me and video editing started having fights and arguments every day. And video editing would beat me up and say mean things to me about how I wasn't good enough. That's how it feels. It feels like I'm legit in an abusive relationship with video editing. The love is dead. It's not there anymore. It's just gone. It's like I'm just staying there like the battered housewife. I don't love it anymore, guys. I'm sorry. And it hurts to see some of you comment and ask, where are the new Jeffy videos? Where's the next review? There is no more review. They're never happening again. Okay? They're just not. There's no more of it. And I've been trying. I've been trying for a really long time to just man up and just do it. And I can't do it anymore. And I'm sorry. But this is what it is. I really wanted it to be different. I really tried. I have been trying. And I'm just done with it. There will be no more SML reviews. Because I've been neglecting people for this. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's done and it's dead and it's never happening again. And I need you guys to just be okay with that. I'm gonna still upload content from now on. Only the condition now is it's gonna be stuff I wanna make. That's the problem, is to be frank, I put some of you guys before me. Okay? So, I have to just ask you all to just listen to this video and please understand. I was really happy with what we were building. And to see that I have over 300 subscribers on YouTube is really cool. I like that. To think there are 309 people who said, this channel is worth subscribing to. And I thought, wow, that is freaking awesome. That is so cool. I really like that. I was so happy to hear that. And I will continue to do what I can. And I just need you guys to be patient with me in the meantime. There's so much more I want to say. And I will continue to update you. And I just ask you guys listen to what I have to say and consider that this is just what it's going to have to be from now on. Because if I don't do this, then I'm never going to upload again. There's not going to be any more videos. There's not going to be any more Cow Kings. Right? The channel will just stay dead. Like it's been for months. Sorry for the sniffling. I'm just like fucking a mess right now. I never imagined that I would stop loving video editing. And maybe I'll find my passion again someday. Like sort of like how Tony Hawk lost his passion for skateboarding for so long. Maybe one day I will find my passion again. Right now what I need is a break from this shit to reassess what it is in life I want and what matters most to me. You see, I've mentioned this before, and I think it's worth mentioning again. We always talk about the fear of missing out when it comes to doing productive things, right? Whatever that means. And yet, you're missing out when you're working those 12-hour days on time with your fucking wife, or your kids, or your friends. And you know another thing, if you have a worldview that you have to be productive, you need to challenge that. If you think that your value comes mainly or primarily from what you offer to other people, what you can do for them, then you need to ask yourself and look somebody who's paralyzed from the neck down and tell them that. Look at somebody with a severe mental handicap that's have their parents help them wipe their ass or shower them and tell them that their value is less, that their worth is less. And if you believe that, you're a sick fuck, bro. Because I found myself in a channel with these other dudes who were talking about survival of the fittest and shit like that. When I was on Reddit, that was a breaking point for me. Was enough. Well, I started finding other fucks like you who kind of masqueraded like me. And all of you hate yourselves. And you don't have any intrinsic value on the inside. You don't even like yourself. So you just work all day. So you can run away from your problems. You're not dealing with your problems by working all day. You're just running from them. And you're telling yourself that this is the right thing. Your addiction may not be alcohol. It's just something else. And you're just like these other fucks. You tell yourself you don't have a problem. Until one day you wake up and you find that you're 70 years old and your whole life went beyond you. And you found out that the things that you thought you cared about don't fucking matter. The greatest time that I had of my life was when I was hospitalized overnight at Kettering. Fort Hamilton is what they call it now. And when they were bringing me food and treating me nice, and I had this saline solution, and they asked what I needed, and they were doing all these tests on me, and I could just sit there and eat 3 meals a day, and I got to watch SpongeBob all day. I was happier. I was happier than I'd ever been. I was actually happy for once. I was happy. I didn't need to do anything to be happy. And one day you guys too, who are struggling through this, I hope you find peace. I know this is not going to help maybe anybody really, but it's really worth a shot. Because I realized something, that I'm not the only one dealing with this. This toxic productivity, where we have to constantly be we're human beings, not human doings. We are more productive than anybody else throughout history, than any of our ancestors. At the tip of our fingers, we can send a text message. And you know the weird thing, the more we've learned to be productive, you would think even in the workplace, when we were creating all these new ways to be productive, the idea was to help reduce the work week, right? When the Industrial Revolution came along. And nope, our working hours just went up. When you look at people who take the working hours from 40 hours down to 32 hours, you find that they're actually happier. Just by reducing their working hours one day, just by taking one day off. We have off days for a reason. They talk about it from a religious standpoint with the Sabbath, or on Sunday, the day of rest. I just can't anymore. I deserve to not abuse myself like this. I want to do this because I want to do it, guys. And if I'm going to do this, I need you all to... I need some of you to just be understanding. You know, the comments making fun of some of my content has not been helpful. I know the internet is full of a bunch of fucking loser degenerates who act super different because of anonymity. And the toxicity is turned up to 11. And at the same time, I'm willing to risk myself on here and look like a jackass. Because I want to show you guys my life and who I am. Anyways, just please enjoy the rest of the video. I'll check in with you next time. For next video, I'm going to just talk to you about how I play as Yuumi and strategies I like to do as Yuumi. Anyways, love you guys. Please just take it easy. Bye.